Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the New Rhythms Arts Center. My name is Katherine Davis, and we're here on Facebook live stream. And every Sunday, I have a talk show and performance from some of the greatest entertainers, performers that I know, and who I've met throughout my own musical career. This program is sponsored because one of the reasons is that this is one of my dreams that I've always wanted to fulfill. I want to always be a talk show host. And so, because I'm doing this, I want to say thank you to the Department of Cultural Affairs Chicago and Mayor Lori Lightfoot for granting me with a Esteemed Artist Award last year. And the award was to fulfill some of the dreams that I had always had throughout my music career. So, with the opportunity of having this this grant, I reach out to, like I said, I reach out to performers, entertainers who I've met along the way, and so they're my living proof that I existed when I said I existed when I put it on my resume and my biography. So this evening, I'm so honored to have Mr. Ken Allison, a, a gentleman who, in my days in the 70s and 80s, I used to follow him and other great performers. I used to follow them on the south side of Chicago, and that was when, in the 70s and 80s, the south side of Chicago was thriving with wonderful music, so much talent, and the whole music scene was, it was lit up with fire, and people were out and having fun, enjoying the music. It was just a beautiful time to be out and experience this great music. Um, I remember to go into a lounge, you and bands were playing. You had the bands, you had the contortionists, you had the
Yeah,
comedians, you had the strippers,
strippers.
you had you had just a whole night of entertainment, and the people who patronized everything that was going on. We were, what was that? We had our little drinks. What was it called? The ponies.
Yeah, the ponies.
Mr. Ken Allison, everyone, my dear friend from way back in the day. Hi,
Yes.
Ken.
How you doing,
All
Catherine?
right, everybody
Good.
say hi, Ken.
Hi.
And his lovely wife, Janine, is here. Ken, hey,
Hey.
I am so glad that I reached out to you. Thank goodness for Facebook.
Yeah. Thanks,
I
goodness.
have I have made some great accomplishments connecting with a lot of people that I wouldn't have known how to get in contact with. And so I had mentioned something, or I had made a statement on Facebook, which it captured your attention. And I think it was the one where I said that I had stopped singing.
Right.
I had
Yeah.
stopped singing. We were Facebook friends
Right.
already, but when I said I had stopped singing, and I regretted that I stopped singing, because when I it was what, maybe a year that I had was just saying, I'm not singing, I'm not singing, I'm not singing. And then when I got back into singing, it was like I had to start over. I started over.
It's like walking again.
Yeah. And I was like, man, if there was anything that I regret that I did, that was one thing that I regret that I did stop singing, because when you have a God gifted talent, you're gonna go through some moments. You're gonna go through some times. You're gonna meet some people that's gonna be. You think that they're for you, and they're not. And you got these big dreams, especially being in the entertainment business. You
Yes.
got these big dreams. You dress nice, get your hair done. You know, wear your nice jewelry and everything, and ride your fancy car. And then you got a following of people that's successful and everything, and then all of a sudden something happens in the blink of an eye. Something can happen, and it just like what's the song? Nobody knows you.
Right.
Nobody knows you when you're down
Down
and
and
out.
out.
And
Right.
I didn't. I don't- I never felt like I was down and out. I just felt like I thought that the music industry was supposed to give me more than what there was. It wasn't even offered. It was my desire was so strong to sing and to just to be known.
Right. That's what we wanted to do.
We wanted that, but did we really think that we were going to go to Hollywood?
Well, actually, to be honest, when the gift that God gave me, in my dreams, I just saw bigger audiences. I
Yeah.
I never saw myself, chauffeured or anything like that. It was just sharing the gift and getting the response, from the audience. So this business of entertainment, being grounded in it, I kind of knew that it was more than we ever imagined. It was more than being on stage. There's so many downsides, but the joy of it was that God gave me a gift, and I enjoyed sharing it. And that's what it wasn't about money. And people think you're crazy when you say it's not about money, because you know it is. But $1 million or $1,000 a night, the joy comes from sharing this gift, and seeing the response. So
So did you get this from like going to church? How did you get like that feeling of wow, I want to sing. I want to I
well,
want to sing on stage. Church?
I was born with a speech impediment. I stuttered, and I was shy, and I was a daydreamer. But
Me
my
too.
grandparents on both sides were gospel singers.
Mhm.
My mother and father were gospel singers. My father traveled with his siblings, with his brothers, the Southern Travelers. We're from Arkansas. I'm the only one of 7 children born in Arkansas. So it was always music. And then one day I heard, I don't even know if I should say this here, but I heard Elvis Presley, and I was fascinated,
Yeah.
and became even more fascinated when I found out about the songwriters that wrote his hits, and checking the history of who he was imitating.
Mhm.
I said, I can do that, even
Mhm.
stuttering. So actually, the first job I had, the first professional thing I did in entertainment, I was a producer. At 9 years old, I hired my uncle, Luther Allison, to perform for my mother and father's wedding
Luther
anniversary.
Allison,
Yeah,
your uncle. Wow, you
yeah,
hear that, audience?
yeah.
Yeah.
And, it was
Another
supposed to
blues
be a surprise,
pioneer.
but how do you surprise your parents? You're 9 years old and you got to pay your uncle. I think I gave them like $7 or $8, but they came. And I like that, So entertainment it's in me, and the business end of it, I had a little bit more awareness of the traps.
Mhm.
You know, um, actually, that's where TWT came from. Years of working for managers, working for clubs.
Now, who's TWT?
That's our home. The whole truth. We
Mhm.
started Truth Production. We were
True.
Truth, Truth
Truth.
Production,
Mhm.
and that was in 1976. And I was just kind of fed. You know, you work all night, you see the audience is full, packed, and here's some guy come telling you that they didn't make no money. So you walk out of there all night long with $20, $25. I knew it was more to that than that. So we put our own band together, our own company, and we promoted, produced the whole 9 yards. Of course, everybody, even the people that loved you, figured it was a waste of time. Um, but when you believe in something, and at this point we still believed in what we dreamed, just wanted to sing.
Now, where were you performing? What kind of houses?
We did a lot of block clubs. Remember back in the day when they had theater in the streets,
Yeah.
where the flatbed would come through the
Yeah,
neighborhoods
I remember.
with Gene Chandler, Major Lance. Buddy Guy might not remember this, but there was a little club on 71st Street between Rhodes and St. Lawrence, and we were out there they were there every week, and our group would be out there singing, and they invited us in. Buddy Guy, Junior Wells, Johnny Christian,
Yeah.
said we were blocking the patrons that were coming to see them, and everybody froze. Actually, being in front of a live audience, we all froze. But that sparked that. That sparked that.
And you were all young performers.
Oh yeah, I was 11, 12, 13 years old. Actually, we didn't form TWT. I had been in the Corps and back home, and I refused to. I just couldn't do it anymore. Let me say that when I was in high school, there were mentors like Curtis Johnson from Ice Production. He was a promoter and a talent scout at Calumet High School. I don't know if you remember, but he had Cyrus Movement.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, he mentored us, and he showed us the ropes, and he was very hard. It wasn't no drinking; it was discipline, and we practiced. And back then, you had organizations, Mayor Hatcher, Jesse Jackson. Shawa Studios was the first recording studio that I was signed to. That's Wesley South, Sammy South, VOWVON.
Yeah, Wesley South, yeah.
Yeah. And so we performed
Lot
park
of
district
history.
gigs, block clubs. Halsted used to be popping from 69th, 63rd actually.
Yeah, 63rd Street.
Yeah, I can't remember.
From
the
63rd and Halsted, going straight east.
Straight East.
To 63rd is Stony Island.
That's right. And
Yeah.
we played just about every dive hole that you could find, but there was glamorous I mean, Roberts 500. I played there. I played Club de Lisa.
Club de Lis,
When
yeah.
when I tell people I played Club de Lisa, they figure, yeah, right, here we go. But yeah, I did. That's where you had to audition. That's where you auditioned for the Regal, the talent shows at the Regal.
Regal Theater.
Yeah, and that night, I mean, you couldn't tell me nothing except for I had a curfew, but I was floating on cloud nine. But I knew I had to get home for that curfew. You couldn't.
And did the family know where you were?
No, my parents were totally against entertainment.
Yeah.
Being from the South, all they saw was the negativity of it, the drugs, the alcohol, and they didn't want me to have no part of it. So when we had performances, I had to start Monday taking the shoes I was going to wear, take the clothes, put the clothes I was going to wear in the cleaners, and get it out. And when I would leave, I'm going to the skating rink, but we at the Capitol or, something, wherever we were performing.
Up on 79th and Halsted was the Capitol Theater.
Capitol
Yeah.
Theater.
Wow, those were some memories. Yeah. It was
That's
a
guess the
lot.
way I became sneaky. I became really sneaky. But, I just showed them, I assured them that I just wanted to sing. At this time, I wasn't writing no songs or nothing. I wanted to play an instrument, but I never really had the discipline for an instrument. And I think with me having that speech impediment, that made me put poems together or practice. I used to write and practice lines that I would going to say to a girl.
So you was a rapper. You was that type of rapper where you could like sing tell your story to her, make her fall in love with you right
Yeah.
there from you reciting your own poetry.
Yeah, yeah. I made money in the military writing poetry for guys, and just started putting all these gifts of creativity together.
Yeah.
And in 70, 76, 77, my brother who's deceased, Marquis, we formed Truth Production, and we haven't looked back. It's been some pain. A lot of folks that started this with us, they're not here, and
Right.
you kind of feel indebted to them. Even when I saw when you shared that you had quit singing, that touched me because there's been a couple of times in my career that I did the same.
Yeah.
You have, it's like you pick up a troop or you pick up your show, you carry them on your shoulders, and then you watch each one get their break and they splinter and they go, but nobody remember what you did. So I incorporated this mindset. It's not about what I did for somebody, it's what I'm going to do anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Because the things that we do,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to do,
Mm-hmm.
So it's been beneficial and rewarding. Um, and there's some things along the way that I would change. I like the business, but I did not like living that lifestyle.
Yeah, because the lifestyle it can be really, really a lot. It can be a lot on you. It's like highlights, you're on the stage, you've got, the stage setting, the music, the energy is real strong and powerful, and everybody is loving you, and then, the show is over with,
The
and
adrenaline is rushing
yeah,
you.
but
But
back then, after we got off from the gigs, we did have a place to go to eat breakfast. We could get together, go and have breakfast, hang out, and we didn't get in till 5, 6, 7 in the morning.
yeah, those are the days.
Those was the days. But like you said, y- it's like, okay, so where's my proof that I'm prospering from this? Because the music scene was, if they weren't offering us
A
the
lot of
money,
money,
they were offering everything else, but they weren't giving us the
no
money.
money. I was fortunate again in my household. Johnny May, my mother, and my father, Johnny May, and MC. You were allowed to dream because that's what life is about.
Hmm.
But you was going to go to school and you
Hmm.
was going to work.
Hmm.
So a lot of people don't know that I did 38 years with the city of Chicago,
Hmm.
and in between the job, there was no show going out of here on the weekends, or I dreamed, but I also was responsible,
Hmm.
and that saved me for a while.
Hmm.
But being a country boy, and all of a sudden you got women, in particular older women. You got the street element that everybody wants you at the after party. Everybody wants you to, drop a name, and then next thing you're caught up.
Hmm.
And I had some dark times with that.
Hmm.
Um,
So
that if,
tell us.
huh?
I'm sorry. I was going to say, tell us about the song that we're about to hear.
Uh,
It's called Plumber
Power Soul.
Power Soul.
Yeah, that was
Tell
actually
us about that.
we had finished that CD. It took, let me say, it took years to complete a CD off of what you had left after you paid your bills and
Now, when you say
everything.
CD, now
Oh
we're
yeah,
going back.
album,
Album,
album, 45
45s,
albums, cassettes,
albums, cassettes,
yeah, eight
and
tracks,
8 tracks.
and reel to reels. Yeah, I think all of us had an Akai, at least an Akai. So we had finished the CD, and we were performing at, was it McClenda's? It was either at McClenda's, but anyway, so we did the Power and Soul. There was something that I wrote in Japan actually years ago, and so we put me and Chuck Patton, who's my musical director and a collaborator with most of the songs that I wrote. We did that, and we still do this song as my opening number. It's like introducing myself to the audience.
So, Alex is going to play.
Thank you. How you doing? How you feel? You having a good time? You know these things. Listen, in the studio, everybody's there too. I got something I want to share with you. I want to tell you about my dream and some of the things I've seen. But first, I want to introduce myself to you. My name is Mr. Allison. It's about the measure to I met you and my name is Mr. Allison. Now, friends out there, now just like you, I love this world we live in. Although every day is filled with death and sin, but if you trusted me sometime, I trusted you, Lord, baby, you know me talking to. My name is Mr. Allison. It's about the religion until I met you, and my name is Mr. Allison. I don't profess to be the best, or none of doggone best. If you trust me sometime, I try to do no less. Protection out to my people, to believe in what we need. Protection out to the world, man, woman, boy, and girl. From the folks, your safety, to the people giving me all that Mr. Allison. Well, come on, put your hands together, y'all, and put your hands together, yeah. Well, come on, and put your hands together. Oh, yeah. I name is Mr. Allison, and it's my possession until I met you, and my name is Mr. Allison. My name is Mr. How you doing, sir? Mr. Allison.
Wow. Whoa, that takes me back.
Yeah, that caused a lot of problems with Bruce Thompson because we just recorded it live and it worked, but he had problems trying to get the levels and everything. But
Okay.
I held my guns and we put it to first.
So was he performing with you, or he was doing just the
He was
sound
just
only?
doing the sound in.
He was
on
doing
that
sound
gig.
for you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But it came over well, didn't it? And I can hear that sound that, we grew up off of. It was, I don't know if it was in the speakers or just the amps or something, but it was like that. You couldn't just sit down and just, listen to the music. You had to get up and dance because it was
That
funk,
energy.
R&B, everything,
Soul.
soul, all of that was all in there in the room. That energy, the vibe, all that was just you had to move with this.
Yeah.
And so we're pretty much like the last of those eras of that kind of feel
Right.
that we got from that, and of course coming out in the 60s, 70s, 80s, we was coming out like, and we were free. We were freer
Yeah.
to be ourselves.
That's right.
And to not be afraid of everything. Our parents would tell us, don't go that way, because if you go that way, you're going to run into trouble. Don't go that way, because if you do, you better, come out of there before the sun go down. So it was always, you got to be cautious of everything growing up, because
Right.
our families was trying to protect us from the harms that was out there in the streets. But I didn't never see any harm. I was in the streets all the
All the
time.
time. I'm a
I,
street.
I didn't. It was like everybody put on their best behavior around me, and I don't know why that was, because I was like, but I was a good girl, but I think it was more like that respect,
Right.
the respect that you gave them and they gave you
Gave you
in
back.
return. So
Right.
people can, with respect, people know who to respect and who not to respect. And so when I came out, and was hanging out with you all, I was like, man, I was out to learn. And we're the same age.
Right. Yep. Same
But see,
age.
I came from church, and it was like I had always wanted to sing in church. I wanted recognition in church because I wanted to sing church songs, lead songs. But growing up from a little girl, the church, the music director said, Kathy, you got to lower your voice because you sound too bluesy, and that's against God. And so then I thought I was going to go to hell because I had this voice. So I said, well, let me get out. Let me just stop trying to sing church. Let me go and sing opera, because I had that with my mother on her side of the family. I said, well, let me sing opera. I don't see anybody out there just going to tell me not to sing. But my music teacher was like, oh, no, darling. No, no, no. You no sing no blues. You no sing no jazz. You only sing opera and popular music.
Yeah.
And so by that time, the doors had opened. I ran into you all, and I was like, yeah, this is where I want to be. Yeah. So I made a mistake and told my music teacher, I says, I was hanging out on the R&B bands and everything. And she was like, no, 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 darling. No, 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 no. You don't do that. You don't do it. So I had to stop telling her that I was hanging out. But I was in the streets. I hit them. I hit the clubs, the lounges, the bars, everywhere where there was live entertainment. I
Anywhere.
was there.
All I needed was an audience. Church wasn't. I went to church on Sunday because you had to go to church. And if I tell the truth, I went to church so I can get that 15 cents for the Wimpy's hamburger after church. But
It was a hamburger.
yeah, Wimpy's hamburger. For 30 cents, you had fries, hamburger, and a pop. And that's what we got for going to church. That was the penny for going to church. But church was the first introduction to politics of music. They had their favorite singers. And I've always been tall. Even when I was skinny, I was tall. And all them little cute guys, the little short guys with the big voices, I couldn't get around them. They were the ones that the people in the church wanted to hear sing. And that wasn't working for me. So me and my sister formed a duet. And our song was, I'll trade a lifetime for just one day in paradise. And I sung that, and that was like, they liked it. Next thing you know, the tea parties, the block parties and all of that. I never missed. I would sing something, and here I am today. But that lifestyle, it traps you. All of a sudden you're popular, and started ditching school and all of that. And I never liked that. I went into service, and I traveled with the USO. Formed a band in Japan, Enlighteners of Soul, and opened for Kingston Trio, Freddie Hubbard. I mean, I sung everything. I sung rock. My favorite classical was Ave Maria.
I sang Ave Maria.
Kyrie Eleison and stuff like that. Tom Jones. I believe that. Okay, musicians play instruments. Singers sing. And I believe that a singer should be able to sing anything. If it's arranged for them, this takes you down another road of learning your voice, learning your limits. So we were on 39th at the old used to be the Pace Setters. No, back in the day, that's where Sam Cooke and all the on 39th in Indiana. But it was Southern Girl by the time I got there. But we did Elvis Presley Jailhouse Rock. Because I just feel that, you know, get away from the politics and all the things. The music, music is a spirit. And it lifts you, it takes you places where
Yeah.
you probably never go physically.
Yeah.
And when we did that Jailhouse Rock and all those hardcore, you know, down, they jumped up on the tables and was dancing. And Ricky Hall, he works with he Buddy Guy now. He was like, when I called Jailhouse Rock, he said, man, you on 39th in Indiana. I said, play it.
So can we play another one of your selections on your
Power
album
and Soul.
CD? Power and Soul.
This,
All right.
next-
You're listening to my dear friend Ken Allison, one of Chicago's great music pioneers right here in Chicago. And we're right here at the New Rhythm Arts Center, 1772 West Lunt Avenue. Alicia Hempling is the founder and director of the New Rhythm Arts Center, and Alex Robinson is our video and audio engineer for this evening. Thank you all so much for coming. We got some more for you.
Freedom.
I started to catch a butterfly today, but I changed my mind and let it fly away. I figured on living things, yes I did. We're meant to be free, the way that all mankind, Lord, was intended to be. Freedom, sweet freedom, you know it's necessary. Don't take it. I said it becomes necessary. So many have died for us. Freedom. So many have killed for us. Freedom. Oh. I stopped and I bought a bird cage today. But when I got home, Lord, I let the bird fly away. I kept the cage, oh yes I did, to remind me that somewhere out there, Lord, a bird is flying happy and free. Freedom, sweet freedom, you know it's necessary. Don't take it. I said it becomes necessary. So many have died for us. So many have killed for us. So I brought it out to encase the butterfly as it floated away. They seemed to wave goodbye as it soared into the sky. To look at real freedom makes you wanna cry. So I stopped and I thought I'd write a song today, telling free in your heart, be free in your mind, be free in your soul. Message of the Lord to both the young and the old. Freedom, freedom, you know it's necessary. Don't take it, don't take it. I said it becomes necessary. So many have gathered. So many has killed for it. Oh, my God, sweet freedom. I said it's necessary. Don't take it, don't take it. I said it becomes necessary. So many have gathered.
That's a beautiful song.
Has killed
Freedom. When did you write that song?
I wrote that. That's most of this was still 70s. Coming home from overseas, I was assigned to a unit that was a support group for the troops in Vietnam, and I was at the Kentai Bridge Festival in Japan, Iwakuni, Japan, and they were commemorating the Hiroshima thing, the bomb, dropping of the bomb, and that changed my life dramatically to see. This was 1973, 74, and they dropped that bomb in 1945, whatever, and it was years later, decades later, and they were still recovering from the devastation of the atomic by that bomb. And then being a child of the 60s and coming home, and after being overseas, and coming back to the world, and nothing had changed.
Right.
I thought about the Medgar Evers, of course, freedom any means necessary, and that was my gut reaction to that. Mm-hmm. And this is crazy. I used to catch butterflies. You catch the butterflies, the lightning bugs.
Yeah.
And you put them in a jar, and they be dead the next morning. So that's where the lyrics, so many have died for it, killed for it. To this day, I don't kill, just randomly.
I don't kill nothing.
I don't kill a thing.
I don't kill nothing. Mm-mm. I ask the universe, please don't, I don't want to see, I don't want to see a roach, because I
gotta do
I don't
something.
see, but I'm sorry, but don't let me see nothing, and I don't see, I see a mosquito after they done stung you, or a fly, I'd say, okay, go where you gotta go,
Have a greater appreciation.
But I don't want to be in nowhere where I have to, see.
Yeah, I have a great
Because
appreciation.
that feeling of, you don't want to be around it. But I want to ask you about, like, the uniforms that you wore when you would be performing. Did you change uniforms after each set? Because I used to change outfits after each set.
Yeah. I carried, if it was three shows.
You had a wardrobe
I did.
person traveling with you?
No. Well, actually, my personal agent of 40 years, Kumar Mateen, yes, she would, all I had to do was get there, and everything was, done. My clothes was laid out.
You had your dressing rooms everywhere you performed?
Some of them were bathrooms.
Yeah, same here.
Some of them was in the kitchen, but it was, it didn't matter. It was just fun. I think I got this thing of dressing. You go to see, rock bands. I wouldn't pay that kind of money to see somebody coming out with holes in their blue jeans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I designed in the early days, I designed most of my clothes until
You had your clothes made too, right?
Yeah. Spent a lot of money on it.
Yeah, I used to have my dresses made. Yeah.
But
to perform in.
Yeah, because I'm a sweater. That takes me back to this thing about the water. I'd be soaking wet, by the time I did the
And
second
don't wear
song.
silk.
Oh
Oh,
no,
baby, don't wear
no.
silk on stage. You talking about drenched under the arms all the way down here. And your outfit, you thought it was like you was laid out and everything. But once you start performing, that sweat, oh.
And you couldn't put that sweaty shirt back in that clothes bag and forget it because you're throwing it away. Mildew, stained.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had she's been very monumental in my development as an artist, as a person.
All right.
Yeah.
So what do we have next, Alex?
This
What's
is our
this?
love story. Now, this song, that was Freedom and Love Story, part of the first session. That was my first ever studio session. And we didn't think nothing was going to come
This
of
was
it.
in Chicago.
In Chicago. Bruce Thompson.
Bruce
Most
Thompson,
of my
yes.
work was recorded in Bruce Thompson's studio, except for the Twist Blues. But this song, Love Story, it's featured in this movie, Roxanne, Roxanne.
Mm.
And it's also an episode of The Last OG. What's his name? The comedian. Yeah. Anyways, they have a.
All right, audience, look that up. What is it called, Ken?
This is our love story.
The
the
movie.
program of the Roxanne, and The Last OG. It's a series that came on. Tiffany Haddish, Morgan, whatever. Anyway, they have an episode that Tracy Morgan, they entitled the episode Love Story.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife was watching the program. They're playing your song. I said, girl, that song, 30-something years old. Ain't nobody playing my song. And it was. And so I got credits for movie credits and
Cha-ching, I hope. Yeah.
yeah.
This is our love story, baby, about how it was when we first met. I said I love you and then forget. That was just a lie. 'Cause you are so beautiful. You made my life so wonderful. I'm yours until I die.
This is our love.
We're going to start it over again. It's okay. We have a beautiful audience out there. Just start over. Dance
This
too.
is our love story, baby, about how it was when we first met. I said I love you and then forget. That was just a lie. 'Cause you are so beautiful. You made my life so wonderful. I'm yours until I die.
This is our love story, baby. Our love story's unspectacular. Ours is really regular. It's no reflection on our love. I was standing on a street corner. I watched it for a block or more. It seemed as though we'd met before, but it was only in my mind.
In my mind, our love story may be simple and plain. On the day before we met, my life was filled with pain.
Your life had been one situation after another. Took some time to convince you, girl, that for me there was no other, no other, no other.
This is our love story.
our love story, baby, about how we met 5 years ago. You weren't sure and I did not know that we could come this far. But thoughts of time with you has filled my heart. Oh, love, I pray we never part this way. Love to one soul.
And I love you too.
This is
our
love story about how I love you now,
how we first met.
and I need you,
I'll
baby.
say, I'll forget,
I respect you
I
now.
can never forget.
As my friend,
I
say
won't
it again.
forget. This is our love story.
This is our love story about how I love
How we first
you,
met.
and I need you,
I'll
baby.
say, I'll forget.
I respect you now. As my friend, say it again. I respect you. You're my woman.
Man,
And that's with Diane Harvey. Hey, Diane, I haven't seen her in years, but
she's here in Chicago.
yeah,
Man, the music of Chicago in the 70s and 80s was so powerful.
powerful.
This music, right here, done right here in Chicago.
Right. That's right.
A lot of people don't know that.
No,
And what do you think happened to, like, all the artists who had their records on consignment in the record stores? I was told that, like, when I went on a tour in Germany, the promoters and all them, they were playing all these documentaries about Chicago's music and how these journalists and these music collectors had come to Chicago and bought up all the records and everything from all the record stores that closed down and took all that music and took it over to Germany.
and to this day they still
And it
playing
left a
vinyl.
big dent in the music scene here. Like, artists who don't, the artists of today don't even know who came before them or before them. They don't know anything. They're thinking that there was nothing here before
Right.
they started. And so,
Actually, that record there, it was selling in the UK and across the pond, as they say. They had videos of it and everything. Bruce Thompson called me and asked me, did I know about that? And no, I didn't. And we did the video that they were selling at the Copper Box. So,
The Copper Box.
that's a lot of traveling for a video shot here in Chicago in a club 20-some years later it was over 20 years before I saw any kind of money. That was a battle because we didn't know nothing about mechanical rights
right.
and all of that. So, but I say that longevity has its rewards, but you also got to be committed. You got to be committed to handling your business. You know, you got to have people that
Sure
are
do.
committed to you with your best interest. You know,
Right.
and that's hard to find. Everybody's trying to make
Right.
make money.
I want
off of
somebody else to do their work for them, thinking that they're looking out for them with their own best interest, and they're not. You have to do the work yourself
I'm a
as
historian.
an artist.
And I don't know if Little Richard or any of those guys got that money. That money been tied up with Pat Boone and Tutti Frutti
Yeah.
and all that. They sold songs $25 or something for a song, something that you wrote, and you got a suitcase full of. You ain't thinking about that.
Right.
But look at all the money that's been generated, and that's just the money that they document here. It's universal. You just got to stay on top of it. You can't be discouraged. Entertainment, this part of entertainment is not for the faint at heart, because we know that there's, for every star that's catapulted to that star, there's somebody that'll kill him right around the corner. Got a guitar case or a cup singing in the train station. That's much more talented. So I mean, you got to have some backbone, and you
Yeah.
got to have some faith.
Yeah.
You know.
So can we play the next? We want to play as much as we can within
now-
this moment here at the New Rhythm Arts Center.
I'm a balladeer. I sing love songs, but I came to a point, and this is produced by Rick Hall, plays with Buddy Guy. It was my musical director. I wanted a song that reflected the women in my life that were not just love interests. My mother, my grandmother, my sisters. So, Black Woman, I kind of got ridiculed because it was so on the racial edge, but I wanted to pay homage to the women in my life. So that's Black
All right.
Woman.
Now it is written that in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, and then man. But in my opinion, he wasn't finished until he had created the closest thing to perfection, and that was you. Beside every king, there should be a queen to share and rule his kingdom well in everything. When I need support, you're right there by my side. You give me shelter with love and happiness of mine. A goddess of loveliness, veiled in our secrecy. Beautiful creation, vision of royalty, descendant of Nefertiti, queen of the Nile. Everything you do with grace. You do with grace. You do with grace and style. Black woman, black woman. Should I never look into your eyes and fail to see the look of love? And now you're strong black man to throw himself into the sea, to drown in hell through an eternity. This is my testimony, tribute of my love to you. Everything that I know, I do it because I love you. Side by side, we faced it all. All the right trials of the hours, both large and small. When I say black and beautiful, I speak of you. You're the mother of my children, no reason for living, and you're mine. Yes, you're my salvation too.
Come on. I got some stories for King Rock. Where is he? I'm looking for him.
I saw him
In my
about a year
mind,
ago.
you're the angel that I see. You're my strength, the better half of me. Oh, I love you. And yes, I need you too. Beside every king, there should be a queen to share and rule
Yeah.
this kingdom well in everything. When I say black is beautiful, I speak of you. You're the mother of my children, my reason for living. And you're mine, yes you are. Said you're my salvation too. Oh, I love you.
That's definitely dance.
Love you.
Oh, yeah. I hope you all are out there dancing.
Yeah.
I hope you're up and on the dance floor, wherever you are. We're listening to the recordings of Mr. Ken Allison, very dear friend of mine, singer, songwriter, executive producer, and just an amazing career, even though like we was talking about the things going on, but an amazing career to be able to bring this type of music that's out, because like right now, today's music, it's all about repeating.
Repeating, looping.
Yeah, loops, it's all mechanical and everything, which is okay, but they have to know that it came from this.
From this, right.
Yeah, the messages and all your songs are all positive. It's
Well,
about being in love and respecting, the women and
and that, the video that we did, it's my mother, my grandparents, George, our family. We I have this thing. We make heroes out of athletes and people that are successful, but right next door, there's a hero mother. We call them universal mothers.
yeah,
They took care of the children.
yeah.
It wasn't.
I came up in that too.
Right. So I wanted to, in my way, just acknowledge them for who they are to us, to me. I don't know how many whoopings I got that wasn't from my mother. I got a whooping when I got caught doing it, and by the time I got home and that phone had rung, I got another whooping. So, it's deeper than just falling in love. It's, you had.
It's
image-
about caring for
Right.
you, the children, and taking care of you, and just watching over you. It's
Right.
watching over you because they know the dangers that's out there, and especially being a boy.
Yeah. I was a wild child.
You was a wild child.
Yeah, my mother used to always say, you can't leave no door open, because even when I was crawling, if it was a door open and you're looking
You
for
go through
me,
the door?
I'm outside. Yeah.
Let's play another recording because I think we're
Okay,
getting close to the closing hour.
We're going to go to the Twist Blues.
Twist
And,
Blues.
Yeah, this is a 15-year project produced by Johnny Twist. Y'all might remember Johnny.
I know
Twist,
Johnny.
Later, yeah.
I think he was one of them. They used to tell me
Yeah.
stories about people coming from overseas and taking our music.
And him and Ike Turner, they cut their teeth in this business together. And these were my godfathers, mother's godfathers, Coco Taylor, Johnny Twist. But I tell you this, it is more than a notion to interpret someone else's writing, and he gave me no room. This is called Rockabilly Blues.
Rockabilly Blues.
And he had a million words in the lyric. And no matter how I tried to slip a word in or change a word, he would catch it. That was a long 15 years. From the day we started rehearsing this CD, it was 15 years to the finish. And this is what we
Came up with.
I'm a plumber. My father was a plumber. I do plumbing work, so we put a kind of spin on it. Oh, man.
Ooh-wee. Look at there. That is a short hug fitting your body, baby. Shake your sexy thing across the floor.
Thank you, Daddy.
You're stepping down, your butt's popping, mama. Shake your booty, still that's so whoa, whoa, whoa.
I'm shaking it.
I wanna rock over that sweet thing, darling. Give some loving you never had before. I love the way you're stepping it off tonight, baby. Your sweet, sexy thing looks so good and tight.
Tight, Daddy.
I'm ready to ease in the rooster, girl. Check it up quick, ride it out right.
You got to ride.
I'm gonna put my love butt in your sweet love tub. Now you strap that pretty gown tonight.
I'll strap it tonight, baby.
Back it up and get this deep down special, baby. I'll ride away your misery and all your pain. And that low down way you old man mistreats you, baby. Honey, girl, you know that's a crying shame.
That's deep.
If I don't answer your love during the night, baby, you don't owe me a doggone thing. Oh, let me be your plumber man, baby. I'll work on no love drain all night long.
I like the way it sounds.
Just people call me on my phone, baby. I'll take a bit of weed for a joyful home.
I like it, Daddy.
I'll make it so good to you when I use my tool. You're gonna find another jackleg fool. Hey fellas, play some blues.
Fix it.
Jump up quick, baby, because in this game of love I do my best, nothing less. When it comes down to making precious love, baby, I'm careful with this tool I possess.
You're the best.
I'm gonna unplug your love drain tonight, baby, give you joy and sweet happiness. I love the way you're stepping it off tonight, baby. The black dress hitting you a bit above your thigh. You fill my eyes with desire, baby. With some of that sweet stuff wiggling inside. You're so fine. Let's make some contact love tonight, baby. I'm your plumber man and I'm qualified. Oh, let me be your plumber man, baby. I'll work on that love drain all night long. Just people call me on my phone. I'll take a bit of weeds to a joyful moan. I'll make it so good to you when I use my tool. You're gonna find another jackleg fool. Yeah, listen, I'm your plumber man 24/7, baby. 365 days a year.
Fix it.
When you need me, just call my name, baby. I guarantee I'll be somewhere near. I'll lay down on a potty beside your bed, baby, to reassure you your plumber man is somewhere near. Oh, I said get it. Bring it over
yeah.
here, baby, let me hear it.
Sound like the blues to me.
I said
That
get it.
voice, the background, that's my
Back
wife.
it up over here, baby, let me
Go right in the
fix
studio.
it. I said get it. I'm your plumber man, let me fix it. Ooh, I said, get it.
And the poor man's wife is in the house.
Let it.
All right, Janine.
I said, get it. I'm your plumber man, baby. Let me fix it. I said,
I haven't seen Mike Danger. I ain't seen him in a long time.
Him and Annetta they've been doing some pretty good production.
They've been doing some good stuff. Okay, keeping the music
Keeping it
industry in
alive.
Chicago strong.
Yes.
That's a good thing. That's good. All right. Mr. Ken Allison, just an amazing, amazing musician, a vocalist, singer, songwriter, producer, and I have him here with us this evening here at the New Rhythm Arts Center. And he brought me some gifts. Him and Janine, they gave me I got a T-shirt. And it's called, and it's heavy too. And it's, let's see if you can see it. Can you see the writings? Okay. It says, you have to autograph this too. Chicago. It says power.
Power and Soul. That's my
Power and soul.
my moniker.
Now, is that you as the superhero?
Yes.
That's you with a microphone, and it says Mr. Ken Allison, and is the back.
The city skyline.
Yeah. Awesome. That's nice. So, where can we find your music, Ken? Where are you out there? See everybody. It's nice. A gift to me.
Well, we're in the process. We had our website, and I wasn't satisfied. You know, I'm technologically ignorant. So to have a website that I had to call somebody and wanted something posted or merchandise, posted, and it would be 2 or 3. So anyway, we took it down. It should be back up in the next couple of
Where
of
can we
days.
find you? How do we connect with you?
KCA with TWT. My email is twt.kca@gmail.com.
Say it again.
twt.kca@gmail.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So your fans can
They can
like,
keep in touch there.
email you. Are you on Instagram and all that, or that's in the future? That's coming. Oops.
I'd be lying to say,
Sorry.
yeah, because I don't know. I'm telling you, I don't know nothing. George Smith, King George, KGB Multimedia,
Yeah.
handles all of that. Now, he tried to, bombard me with all this information before we came.
Uh-huh.
But, I wasn't.
We have time. We'll
yeah.
we'll get it in there. Now you're of course songwriter, a poet. You have some of your poetry and some of your books that you gave me. Now those are my books, right?
Yes, yes,
You gave to me.
yes.
Thank you very much. More gifts.
There's one poem that I wanted to read. Some of my stuff is really, deep.
How
and
are we
personal.
on time so we can close out? Oh, okay. So we'll close out with Ken Allison reciting his poetry.
Okay. This is called Victory.
Victory.
Yes. I recently triumphed over my fear. I'll hold this very close and dear. Have you ever fought a nemesis so profound? It whooped you so bad so many times that you just had to bow down? This gift that God endowed to me was full of pain, made the last 30 years a tragedy. Wait a minute. Let's get one thing straight. For none of this is God to blame. It was decisions I made regarding my life, as God gives us free will to live, to die, to kill or be killed, say yes or no. Sometimes even maybe will do. The difference between tragedy and triumph is up to you, 30 years ago or 30 years later. A tragedy then sequels into a great victory later in God. I trusted and on faith I rebuilt. A lifetime of failures, a tragedy to a victorious testimony. How did I do this? I don't know. It wasn't me. I gave it all to God, and His love for me set me free, turned a tragedy into victory. The tragedy was saying yes to drugs and the adulterous life. Unfulfilled dreams were part of that lifestyle 30 years ago. The victory was saying yes to the will of God, putting Him first in all things in my life, believing that all my failures were the infrastructure of my resurrection. The victory God promised I received 30 years later. At last I am free. Thank God, at last I am free.
Awesome. That was beautiful.
Yeah, that kind of tells the story. If my mother was alive, she'd be right now. I'm gonna kill him when he get home, cause everything you do, you're not proud of, and it might not.
I was
be,
at one time, but
Yeah.
I changed.
but I've learned. It took me 67 years to learn how to live. We just lived. We lived from event to event, but
From moment to moment.
moment.
So, Alicia, do we have friends out there that's with us? Hi, Tom.
Preston Click,
Preston. Hi, Preston.
Alice Weinstein,
Alice Weinstein.
Mandel Smith,
Mandel.
Mandel, this is my musical director.
and David Hinsky.
David Hinsky. All right. Hi, David. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us this evening here at the New Rhythm Arts Center. Our special guest this evening, Mr. Ken Allison, one of Chicago's great performers that I know. And he's my living proof that I was around during that time, 60s, 60s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, and so on. And anyway, we say thank you again for joining us. Next Sunday, we're not gonna be here because of the Memorial Day weekend. We're gonna take a little break from there, but we will be back the following Sunday. And I've got some guests that's like, I'm so just happy and thrilled. I love this. I love this, Ken.
Yeah, I love it.
This
too.
is our
This is
reunion,
a reunion.
and you got something coming up, a party coming up.
Yeah, we're having the 60th 60th birthday celebration. The dress is 60s. My sister-in-law, Donna King Allison, and this features not just myself in the show, but her husband, Rick. And we have another generation of Allisons, my niece, Trin, and my son, well, he's not going to be there, but he plays drums. But we have another generation of Allisons to carry forth what we do. So it's next Saturday. It's
That's March 20th.
March 29th,
29.
and it's at
March.
I mean,
no,
May.
May.
May. It's the water, and it's from 3 to 10 at 182nd or 88th, and I got the plug of the flyer, and it'll be my first performance since the pandemic,
Uh-huh.
and looking forward to that. I'm scared to death. Of course you are.
Is it open to the public?
Yeah, it's open to the public. yes,
Okay,
yes.
so it's out there in the south suburbs, out
South
on
suburbs.
100.
Everything. I'm talking about food, the drinks, and live entertainment. They're having a paint and sip. It's gonna be fun,
Okay.
I tell my sister all the time when I was her age. She's just making 60. She just don't know what she's looking for. What's ahead?
60s is good.
Yeah. The only bad
The
part
aches
about
and
60,
pains, but
it's a blessing to be here. Let me just say that.
I feel like we're more than a half century old now, so we know just about everything.
Yeah. Well, I say when you wake up, get up, and keep
Whether
it
we
moving.
want to know about everything or not, but hey, I think it's okay. We're the
It's all right with me.
front runners now.
Yeah. We used to say we got next, but it's us now.
It's us.
We got to leave our template.
Yeah.
So,
Uh-huh. And I want to leave something to remember. Let it be a lasting memory,
right.
in
Never
the books.
give up. The bottom line is never
And
give up.
share it with our children, let them, when they tell stories about when they were growing up, that they include us
Yeah.
in their conversation.
Yes.
That's all I ask for.
I want to thank you for having me.
And I want to thank you for being
And I
my
want to thank
guest.
the center for having me.
Alicia Hempling, Alex
Alex.
Robinson. And thank you to the audience and everything. And we say, take care, and we'll see you really soon. Enjoy life to the fullest. Don't let
Yes.
nothing stop you. Peace and love.
Peace and love.